Morning, everybody. For some of you, good afternoon. It's been a pleasure to invite you for the webinar, which topic is very close to my heart. The topic which is very interesting for every company, not only leasing company, but also for us and also for our customer, how to get more customers, how to become more attractive to them. So my recipe would be that first you have to listen to your customers. And this is the best way to understand them, and then to have a chance to ask them for their needs, and then of course try to solve their problems. We will be waiting for joining participants. We've got 28 right now, but let's stay for a couple of minutes to give them the chance to get here. And let me start with maybe introducing the reason why we did this webinar and why we planned it. 1 year ago, we went through this market research with the leasing companies' customers. So we asked directly these guys what our preferences about the contact with leasing companies, what are their preferred way of signing contracts, how they operate with, how they communicate with the financial provider during the sales process and after sales process. This market research was based on 300 companies, Polish companies, I have to underline that. And we made some kind of segmentation. So we asked 100 micro companies, 100 SMEs, and 100 corporate companies. So that we could, in fact, get to know what are the expectations towards communication to the leasing company. Okay, the first thing is might be very, I would say, leasing companies don't want to share this information with us, what they ask their customers. So we had to do it by ourselves so that we better understand Angel and Peter, and we have better understanding what's going on. And this is the history, how it happened. And after we published the report last year, I asked my colleagues, my friends, Angel and Peter, to talk about it publicly. And here we are, okay? So we have 41 participants. So let the show begin. As I mentioned before, we will talk about our market research. And we've got very interesting guests today, speakers. I will start with the top. So Peter Heinzl. Peter Heinzl is a head of product and channel management. He spent in Raiffeisen Leasing Austria, I think like 18 years now, or maybe. So it's a long time, but Peter also represents Raiffeisen Leasing in Austria Leasing Association, VOL, and also he represents Austrian leasing market on Lease Europe, at Lease Europe level. He was a member of Young and Talented group, which is very close to Lease Europe. The second guest is Angel Penev. Angel is very close to UniCredit Group since 2009, so he's very experienced banker. He spent a lot of time in banking, corporate banking, but then he turned to leasing. I think it's 6 years now, or maybe more, when you are director for leasing solutions, responsible for 9 countries. These guys are Peter and Angel are very business-oriented and digital-oriented guys, so it's a pleasure to meet you guys and talk with you right now. But let's go forward, okay? The last speaker, maybe not a speaker, but I'm a host here. It's me, myself, Kamil Portka. I represent Ailleron company. It's a global company which delivers software for banking and leasing industry. And I'm responsible for LeaseTech product unit, which produces unique, I would say, products for leasing industry. Definitely we are focused on sales applications that support sales, that support agents, that gives the opportunity for customers to acquire leasing online and acquire leasing on internet shops. So we support also e-commerce platform to make financing. And the last thing that we also have in our portfolio is the self-service systems for leasing customer, which are responsible for whole processes after sales, and I think they're with a great success, especially on the Polish market. And this is why we went to this market research, which answered the questions interesting for especially us, because we are selling products for the final customers of you guys, Angel and Peter. And what is also really important, it makes us feel that we are following the good path. But you can challenge me, guys, whether I think okay or I'm wrong. Okay, so be or not to be, online or not. When we take a look at the figures, we can see that Polish companies, they can imagine that the whole transaction can be done, leasing transaction can be done remotely. And there is only small division between the micro and large companies. I would say micro companies are more likely to do it completely remotely, but corporate and SMEs companies they don't feel any difference that this is completely possible. So my question for you guys would be, in your opinion, does these numbers are very similar to your market figures? Maybe starting from Peter and your Austrian market.
Yeah, good morning or hello from my side. Maybe a short input from the Austrian market. What I'm seeing on the Austrian market is that, especially when we talk about online leasing or digital end-to-end solution for leasing customers, the market is mainly focused on PI and micro companies level. Yeah, so mostly for PIs and micro companies, and also regarding the different products of leasing, there is a difference, because most of the digital effort in the Austrian market goes into digital solutions for vehicle leasing, see a little bit in the equipment leasing, and we don't have much solutions in the real estate product so far. So it depends a little bit on either the customer type, so mainly focused on PIs and micro companies, and on the product. But we do see a growing need for self-service solutions, especially in the B2B area, and also for solutions regarding eKYC and document handling. That's something which is relevant to the market and also relevant to the companies from my point of view for the Austrian market.
Thank you, Peter. Angel, when you take a look at all CE markets, is there some kind of agreement to that Peter opinion or not?
Yeah, thank you. No, first of all, thank you for the invitation. It's really a pleasure, and I'm excited to be part of this panel. First of all, just to give you a little bit of context, right? Because UniCredit has leasing operations, as you mentioned, Kamil, in 9 different markets. And these markets have a level of development that is totally different. We have more advanced markets, like we're present also in Austria, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, but also we're covering markets which are, let's say, on the emerging curve, which is Bosnia, Croatia, Serbia, and so on and so forth. So as you can imagine, the picture here is very heterogeneous, right? So when it comes to 100% remotely, or what we call end-to-end solutions, we have it already in some of our markets for specific asset types, similar to what Peter mentioned. For example, I would say that, I mean, of course, the customer type, what you outlined here in the slide, is important, But what we see is that what is important is also the asset type, meaning is it automotive, is it equipment, is it trucks and trailers, and what is the standard, the level of standardization in these assets, and secondly, or rather thirdly, also the channel, which is the sales channel. Because we as UniCredit, we are selling a lot through vendor partners, and we are working on a B2B, let's say, interactions as well, but also B2B2C, and we're trying to have a roadmap how to digitalize all this, let's say, value chain. Just to give you an example, in Romania, Czech Republic, and Slovakia, we have a full end-to-end process for equipment up to 300,000 euro, or let's say exposure up to 300,000 euro, for the automotive, trucks and trailers, and some agri equipment. So it really, this, end-to-end process really depends on, as I said, asset type and sales channel, and it's more fitting and it's more, let's say, searched from the, let's say, high volume, low value type of equipment rather than the more specialized project type of project finance for the large corporates that we see.
Okay, thank you guys for your response. This question was completely general. So when we dive into details and we just take a look at the process, sales process, so we see a little bit different. We have a completely different view, because when we talk about after sales, I would say communication with the customers, they would rather do it completely digital, and this is what this chart is all about. But when you take a look at the first point of contact with the customers, or the negotiation part on the offers, we see that people would like to see I would say that they need a human touch. Okay, this is what the Polish entrepreneurs told us. So my question to you is, guys, of course, how do you compare it to your markets? And let's start with Peter to make it clear about the Austrian market.
Well, for the Austrian market, I think we are a very traditional market regarding the B2B business. So there's, as a banking leasing company, a very, very strong relationship between the B2B customer and the bank. And therefore, we see that there's a very big and good relationship. Yeah. But we also see is that a lot of customers, especially in the micro and also SME segment, are willing to start the journey for a product online, but then change to an offline or analog journey. So therefore, for me, that's the big challenge for us to master that and to get a seamless customer journey, which mostly starts digital, especially in the vehicle leasing, and then turns to an analog process. And this is the change we have, or the challenge we do have to face. Yeah? And for me, it's about seamlessness. It's about good managing the touch points, the customer in the different journey stages. And therefore, I think this is relevant for the success in the customer journeys and for great customer satisfaction and customer experience from my point of view.
Okay, thank you, Peter. Now it's Angel's turn.
Yeah, no, I would say that, yeah, the picture is somehow fitting also in the CE markets. I mean, similar to what Peter just said, is just, it really depends on the, as we said also earlier, on the customer type, on the sales channel. Is it direct sales? Is it via the vendor partner or the dealership? Is it, let's say, asset type? Is it the automotive, or let's say some lower value equipment? Or is it something like more specialized? Of course, we have a digital roadmap where we would like to tackle and attack all these, let's say, touch points. We see it that in the offering or quotation, let's say, part of the value chain, the customers, the smaller customers and the more advanced customers are really liking, let's say, to be able to receive an offer online. But then as they progress, they are gradually taking it offline in terms of discussion with the advisors. And then, of course, the after sales, they would like to have it pure digital, meaning that, things like customer portal, where they can easily check their contracts, repayment plans, and so on. This is something, this part, let's say after sales part of the value chain, they would rather have offline. But, again, it's a really a mixture of those three elements, sales channel, asset type, customer type. And we're trying to, with our roadmap, we're trying to, let's say, fit all of this to the best possible and to be where the customer wants us.
Yeah, of course, we have to make it clear that the digitalization is profitable when you have a mass of transactions, right? So what I can hear from you guys, it's like you are looking for some kind of hybrid models that will be just like sometimes it's fuel, sometimes it's EV, right? So it's very similar to our business, how it looks like. So I forgot about one thing. If you have the questions, I mean to the audience, if the audience have some questions, please press the button Q&A. You can leave us the question to us, and we'll try to answer them at the end of the webinar. Okay, let's go forward. The next topic is how to support this customer and sales service. We started a little bit, but let's take a look at the research. And this is also what we were very interested in, how the customers would like to, how they react on the way, the contact point we have, okay? So the questions now is for you, Angel, first. Do you see that your customers are willing to use these modern technologies? I mean, voice bots, video chats, and so on?
Yeah. No, look, again, I think we're moving into this paradigm of customer type. Of course, some customers are willing and to interact with us remotely. As a matter of fact, especially with the large corporate customers, we are engaging in a lot of cases via remote or video channels. I mean, most of the cases that the advisor is either in premise with the customer, but in many cases also via even Teams. On the other hand, for the smaller type of customers, for the SMEs, we are investing heavily also in some of our markets, mainly Bulgaria. I can mention Bulgaria here, in the so-called remote hubs, where we have advisors serving customers via the remote, or let's say via video channels. And this is kind of again a hybrid, as you mentioned, or probably we're going to talk about later also the omnichannel experience from the customer point of view. So we are trying to, depending on the customer type, we're trying to be at the point of contact with the customer where it's most fitting and convenient for the customer, so that we can address all their needs. And yeah, and really depends on the customer type, on the asset type, on the sales channel. For example, we're heavily investing also in training our the sales force of our vendor partners, whereby they can use our tools and our sales and our offering in order to offer our, let's say, our financial services. In a way, they're acting as our, let's say, sales agent. And in many ways, they're using, of course, digital tools, but also in some cases, there's a physical and, let's say, on-premise interactions.
Thank you, Angel. Peter, you are responsible for online channels in Raiffeisen. So what is the hottest topic right now?
The hottest topic. Well, I think the hottest topic is basically to get the customers on the digital solutions. I think we do have a lot of ideas offering them different methods of getting in contact with us. And I think the most challenging topic is to get the users or the customers to use the solutions, because we're still a very traditional market. So still like the face-to-face issue, especially in the B2B business, is very common and very traditional. But I do believe that customers are going to switch as long as you offer them, as I said, good customer experiences, and especially to offer him added value for him if he's using the digital solution, so that he gets instant solution, that he gets instant advice, that he gets instant help. So therefore, I do believe that the digital solution will be used more often and overwhelmingly in the next couple of years. Although we are still very traditional in the B2B business, I think this is going to shift. I think it has to be great for the customer to use it, solve his problem, and this on an instant way. And then I think also in the B2B area, customers are going to switch to digital solutions and to digital tools. And this is what we are driving for here in our company, Raiffeisen Leasing.
Thank you. I remember that the first e-commerce platform that allowed to sell leasing, I think it was launched 8 years ago in Poland. So it took a lot of time to make this business profitable. So it's a long path, but one of my colleagues in Poland told me that the reason why the people will not use even the best digital solution is that the quality of the human service is so high that people just trust these guys, trust the salesperson, trust their advices. And this is why there is a problem to get into the digital channel. Of course, this is a long way to go, but I think we have the same issue, every one of us. Okay, let's move on. Thank you for the answers. And next topic it's what you, Angel, forecasted. It's omnipresence, omnichannel. So how to start with this digital omnichannel thing? It's very easy. When you take a look at those numbers and when you see that there are not many people, not many customers attracted to, for example, video conferencing and chat at the moment, they don't use it. But when you take a look at the 3 years later, so 2027, more than half of it will use this channel. So how do you think it will go? What is your group strategy toward that? Angel, please give us some feedback.
Yeah, as I already probably alluded to this, yeah, omnipresence, omnichannel is very important, right? Customers, they need you to be at each of those channels present and to basically pick up the data and to be able to have a conversation with them in a convenient and let's say and insightful way, meaning that they do not have to start explaining themselves from scratch from the very beginning if they switch to a different channel, right? Which we see very often happening in some customer service solutions. So it's a challenging. We are trying to invest in all of this. As you mentioned, video conferencing at the moment is not highly used, but we see that there's going to be a leap. Definitely, there's going to be a more and more usage of it, and we're investing in that in some of our markets. As I mentioned before, the so-called remote hubs. This is how you interact with the client, basically in combination with a customer portal where the customer has its own, let's say, platform where they can log in, go there, see certain offerings, book an appointment or book a video call, and then interact with the advisor. This we see happening more and more, and for sure we're gonna let's say follow that trend. And yeah, all the rest of the channels, phone calls, emails, we see that it will remain. What in our opinion will happen is that the advisor or the salesperson or the sales agent, whatever you want to call it, it will still remain in the center of the interaction with the customer. Let's say more for the bigger assets, maybe less so for the more standardized, high volume assets, but for the bigger and medium to high volume value assets, it will stay in the center. And we just need to train the advisor and together with the customer how to use and how to interact to the best of most effectively with the customer on all these channels.
The worst thing is that customer will use more and more communication points, and they will expect the quality in all of this environment, let's say. Okay, Peter. So again, the question: what is your strategy? Of course, just limited version for the strategy to our audience. Okay.
No, I think from my point of view, it's totally clear that the customer expects a multi-channel approach. So we have to be ready for that. I think this is a very big challenge. We're not ready for that now, but we're working on it. And I think that you also have to basically decide between standardized products and offers and non-standardized products, because I don't think there is one approach which fits everything. So I think you have to divide and segment your customer types, your products, and for which you want to offer what. But I do see a lot of things coming up, and I do agree with Angel about customer portals and video conferencing and stuff, what he said before. So I think this is going to become more important in the future. And also I think for leasing company, we have to ask ourselves, or even for banks, where do we offer the traditional face-to-face offering and where do we have digital solutions who are subsidizing that? And so therefore you have to basically segment your customers and your products to basically develop the best offer for the customer. And I think that this is going to be the biggest challenge, because customer journeys are should be great, and therefore I think it's a very hell of a job to manage that and to get a good customer journey for the B2B customers, which is seamless, and also the customer doesn't care which portal he wants to use or which tool he's using. He wants a solution to his problem, and this is our challenge for the future. We are not there yet, but we're working on it.
Okay, guys, do you believe in dedicated mobile application for your customers? Because Polish companies, not really.
We do believe in mobile solutions, but not also in a desktop version. So therefore, I think the customer should decide which is more relevant and more appropriate for him. But mobile is a very important topic in the Austrian market.
Yeah. No, likewise, yes. By the way, UniCredit Leasing being part of a banking group, we also try to leverage on the mobile solutions that our mother company is offering to the customers. In that sense, we're also working very closely with the mobile banking app that is developed for the banking customers. I can give you a recent example that was just launched in one of our markets. In the mobile banking app, you can register your car details now, your automotive details, and then that's connected directly with the state authorities, so you can receive, notifications, any fines, God forbid, any due for MOT, meaning the annual check, and so on and so forth. So this is another level of convenience that we're placing directly into the customer hands within the banking mobile app. So we believe in mobile, but whether it should be standalone leasing app or somehow integrated with the banking app, this is a matter of strategy and the market preferences.
Yeah, this is very important what you say, Angel, because when you take a look at the banking mobile applications, there is a huge need to use it on daily basis. But when you have the asset and you have, for example, one installment to pay a month, there's not many interaction points, so that explains the investment in the mobile application itself, right? So you have to put a lot of value-added services to that. So it's not only a leasing application, it must be a full.
And there's another point that is somehow related to that, right? Because if you have it in the mobile app or even in the internet banking, you can easily trigger the so-called or integrate the so-called payment portal, meaning that, this is what we're trying to do also in some of our markets. So basically, instead of sending a monthly invoice to the customer, it's just that we try to integrate via direct debit or even via a way to, let's say, have a call to action from the customer point of view to make the payment via the portal, right, by the mobile app. And that's important also from risk point of view, because that in many cases that is bringing efficiency into the payment flow, into the payment system, and it's avoiding a lot of payment delays for the customers. So it has definitely also a risk element there.
Yeah, it's we can see in Poland that is gaining more and more popular. One of the companies had like over 1 million instant payments through the payment gates. And the thing that they saw is that the customers usually pay before the due date. So they get the notification. For example, they got the notification about the invoice the 1st or the 2nd of the specific month. The payment date was the 8th, but they paid up. And at that point, they got the notification. So it was very, very clear that the CFO was very happy, right? From the cash flow, it's much better. And it was also, they solved the problem of settlements when somebody had, for example, some kind of a fee to the contract, so that there is information about the whole payment you have to pay on the banking account of the financial institution, and it helped them a lot. Okay, let's move forward because we are.
Plus, it gives convenience to the customer.
Yeah, and it's convenient, very fast. Okay, what modern communication tools customer want? We actually thought a lot about it, but when we talk about only three possibilities, and we ask directly the questions to narrow it. It's not like we'll use phones and emails and SMS. And what we can see at some points of sales process, there are some more fancy tools for the customers, and let's say honestly the tools that they would not ever use that. Okay, so the last point is that they will not use, for example, probably video for post-sale services, after-sales services. But my question to you is how to get this, how to get these tools to improve the sales efficiency, right? To improve the sales, make sales improvement, sales agent. You, Angel, taught us a little bit about it, so maybe I will pass the voice to Peter. Peter, how the role of the advisor will change in the closest future?
I think it will change hugely because, as I said before, I think we have to decide where is a personal relationship really important and necessary. And this is mainly for corporate customer when it comes closer to the contract and if you're concluding the contract. Yeah. But I think for many issues of the customers or problems, you can use other forms of communication. And therefore, I think the sales advisor will stay and will have an important role. But I think new way of technologies like video conferencing and also like maybe also AI solutions are going to play an important role in the future in order also to master our cost efficiency as a leasing company, because all the digital solutions are also driven by effectiveness and cost efficiency. And therefore, I think that we will see much higher use in the future. But as my personal opinion, the role of the sales representative is going to stay high, especially for corporate customers. and especially for the process which comes closer to concluding the contract. And as I said before, what we see now in the micro companies level is that they start online, they still need the advisor. Yeah? This is going to shift, but the advisor is still going to play an important role in the future, in my point of view.
Angel, just a few words about the role of the advisor. You already told us about maybe about the support of the advisor.
Yeah.
How to implement good solutions for them to make them feel better with dealing with the customers.
Yeah. No, it's basically what Peter also said and what I mentioned before. Advisor will stay in the center, especially as Peter mentioned for the larger corporate customers, and especially for, let's say, more specialized project finance type of deals, because we see that even for the corporate clients, when they are going to more lower value transactions in terms of, I don't know, leasing a car or two, they also in many cases start the journey online via quotation offering tool, and then if it's some standard assets, they will complete it. If they have the possibility, they'll complete it online. If in a way they have to discuss with the advisor, they'll prefer to do so. So the advisor will be in the center. Of course, we see the various channels that we discussed before that will be under the hood, meaning that disposable to the advisor to use them. Video conference is going to be, let's say, is going to take a leap, but also video conference assisted with maybe AI tools or AI solutions, artificial intelligence solutions. We actually, doing some testing and proof of concept in one of our markets on the so-called automated conversational automation, whereby the customer in an interaction with the advisor, but also in an interaction with the so-called chatbot, can receive some offers and can conclude some financing there. Of course, it depends again on the type of the asset and type of the customer and transaction, because in many cases, if it's a standard asset, yes, they can rely on the bot and maybe conclude the transaction purely there. But if it's something more complicated, something more specialized, of course, they have the ability immediately to switch to the advisor. And on the other hand, the advisor can have a discussion with the more complicated deals and more specialized transactions with the customer, but also on the other hand, assisted by AI for certain policies and so on and so forth. So to have an assistant that can advise on certain question policies, I don't know, features and so on and so forth.
Okay, there's one example I would bring here, is when the bank started with chat and they replaced some of their call center employees on the phone to the chat. They reduced the number of course, complaints. That was the first, but they reduced the number of employees to great extent, because when somebody was chatting with customers, he can have four chats at one time. But when you have a call, there's only one person you can talk to and operate, and of course, to get the claim done. Okay, we are running out of time, so let's talk about the future, about the trends. I think you already mentioned AI. This is very sexy subject at the moment. So you, Angela, mentioned about this prompter who advise to the salesperson or the after salesperson in the contact center. So is there any other area that you would see the AI support?
Of course, but this is very early stage and definitely a very early stage for leasing companies. Within UniCredit Group, on a group level, there are certain programs that are in place and basically doing proof of concepts at the moment for especially for underwriting. So either underwriting solutions, meaning how to assess more effectively, more efficiently the client riskiness. Another area that can be used for definitely in the leasing area is for setting residual values, meaning that managing aftermarkets and setting residual values and understanding the value of the asset after a certain period of time. So yeah, these are areas that we're excited about. We are trying to enter into and to try to see, but yeah, it's very early stage, and we'll definitely have to probably invest much more there, depending, of course, on different priorities, different resources, availability, and so on and so forth. But definitely two areas I would say it's risk management, meaning underwriting, residual value management, and yeah, and in some cases also KYC. I mean, compliance and KYC. But that depends also on the data availability, on the data quality. Because in our C markets, in Austria, maybe it's slightly different, but in the C markets, the data is still, let's say, rather dirty. And you need, in many cases, you need human interaction to understand it.
Okay, thank you for forecasting the future. I agree with you. These are the areas where you have a lot of data, and a lot of data is necessary to provide a good machine learning model and get into this real artificial intelligence. Peter, what is your hot topic in Raiffeisen?
There are two, of course. One is the AI topic. Wants, first of all, to use it internally, then to use AI to improve the customer experiences and customer satisfaction. These are the big topics for the next couple of years or decade, I would say. And currently, right now, one of the biggest topics is the automatic approval for customers within our digital journeys. So therefore, not the internal ones on the external one. So therefore, this has got the hottest topic right now.
Okay, thank you. At Ailleron, our hottest topic is the prompter to get this brief information about the customer when he contacts, whatever it is, salesman or the operator in the contact center. And this thing is on the list, majority list in many banks and financial institutions. So thank you for your forecast. We've got two questions from our audience. I think the first one was already answered about which area of digital transformation is most attractive for you to develop. So we already heard the stories for you guys. So I will just get to the second one. How do you currently organize seamless operations in your company? Is your internal service operation organized around a CRM? This is the question. Any of you guys? No.
Well, from our point of view, we do have basically a hub. It's not a CRM system in the retail business, where all the data, the documents, and the email communication is stored and managed. And this is our way to basically get a seamless customer experience and customer journey.
Thank you.
And it doesn't matter if it is coming traditional or online.
Yeah, the same, very much the same. Of course, we're trying the CRM. I mean, we don't even call it CRM, to be honest with you. But we have, the customer data that is managed. And of course, we try to build up solutions around it. As I mentioned before, in one of the markets, we're developing the so-called customer portal, where this customer portal is in the hands of the customer. They can, access it and see all the data there. But yeah, we are basically leveraging all the data there and trying to build up solutions in the most standardized way possible, where possible, to leverage, let's say, economies of scale across the markets. But we do not have one CRM overall. We have different customer solutions and customer, customer management systems in the various markets.
Okay, so on behalf of the person who asked the question, thank you. And on behalf of Pint, it was a pleasure to see you guys once again, talk about the future and about the issues and probably solutions at the same time. For those who haven't read the report, we will just send the email after the webinar, so you can click the link and download it and read it. If you need some more questions, more knowledge or anything, just write us down in this on emails. And thank you once again, guys, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here.
Pleasure.
Bye.